Good morning. Welcome to the Journey of Mela Lifestyle, morning moments, madness, and meditations. If you're just joining me, welcome. My name is Camila Tibbetts. I would say if you're just joining us, right? Because I really feel like we get to do this together. But if you're new, this is the Journey of Mela Lifestyle. It originally started as morning meditations that I would do and share, what it was like to launch, the journey to launching my website, Mela, Mela Lifestyle, and that website has launched. We have beautiful curated products that I've identified in the categories of wellness, beauty, home, style. And so I just wanted to take everyone behind the veil, right, and show them like the mind of an entrepreneur. I've scaled and founded 2 businesses in the past, but this is a new solo project for me. And I just wanted to share it with you. So once the website did launch, so many of you gave feedback about wanting to continue and just going down this journey. And we all know it doesn't stop with the launch, right? There's so much that happens and that I still want to share with you. And so let's just get to it. It's Wednesday. It's like hump day, right? And so what's going on with Mela Lifestyle right now? So I am not, first of all, let me have some coffee. And yes, I drink my coffee with a straw. I'm not a numbers person, but we talked about that, like numbers can't scare you. So one of the things, if you have a business, our website runs on Shopify, but we also use QuickBooks. So like in a business, what you have to do is you have to reconcile your bank every month, right? And so basically what you're doing is you have your bank statement, you're looking at everything that you, are your purchases, and you're reconciling that with what's in your accounting. And then at the end of the month, everything should match, right? And like, I feel like that's kind of like, we could do a meditation on that, right? Like, what are we reconciling? But we won't go there because I'll digress, and that's not what the meditation is today, but I can take it there. So that's what I'm doing today. It's my first month. I believe the website launched on November 20th. So working on that, realizing that, wow, like I used to do this in my old business, like all the time. And then we grew, thankfully to a place where someone else did it. So I'm kind of relearning things that I used to do easy all the time. I'm like, oh, how do I do this? I can do this, right? So like that's what's going on. And then, okay, so you guys, we don't sell this on the website, but I just want to show you. This is a company called Appointed, and they have the most beautiful 2021 calendar. So it's interesting how I always share that whatever we're doing in our meditations, there's something that will happen in life that will kind of just, line up with that. So of course, I'm talking about declarations. I'm talking about the new year. Like this is our series, right? Finish strong. And I get the calendar and I'm like, oh, I have to fill this in as well. Like I have to be purposeful about what's going, you look at the 2021 and you're like, let's just put that over there. But you know what? It's around the corner, and this is our series, and this is what we're doing, right? Finishing strong. So if you missed it Monday and Tuesday, we had some great meditations that we did around discipline will keep you when the motivation won't. Discipline will carry you when motivation won't. What are you speaking into? Building your voice. Yesterday we had like an uncomfortable, tough conversation about exposure, like exposing those things that we like really want to take care of and heal and close the door in at the end of this year so we can move with confidence into 2021. So this week, our series is Finish Strong, because we do want to finish the year strong so that we can be launched into what's greater and what's coming in 2021, because I do believe greater is coming next year for all of us. Even though we don't know what it looks like, and in the midst of uncertainty, like we can be confident that something greater is coming. So I always want to honor your time. So the first meditation this morning is who are you speaking to? And what do I mean by that? So, today was a tough day. I'm just kind of like, what am I doing? It's a pandemic. I got to reconcile the bank, looking at numbers. You're like, oh, that just reinforces that what am I doing? But what I always try to do is I always separate the truth from the lie, right? Because when we get in our thoughts and we get in fear and anxiety and the unknown, there's a lot of like, some of those things aren't true. Those are just like our mind and our self-doubt like talking to us. So what I always try to do is like, let me separate the truth from the lie in this area, right? Like, how am I going to talk? How am I going to speak to myself in this moment? And there are times when I know for me, I have to parent myself. I talk a lot about losing my mom 3 years ago. I don't have siblings. It's not a woe is me or a victim. Those are just the facts. But what I do at times is I parent myself, and I know that sounds silly considering my age, but I speak to the little girl, the scared little girl inside of me, or I parent myself and I say the things that I would really say, to my young adult kids. I say those to myself. So in those moments where I'm feeling uncomfortable, anxious, unknown, I'm like, okay, let's separate the truth from the lie. What's the lie? Is the lie is like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is not working. Like, I'm launching in the middle of a pandemic. What if it doesn't work out? Like, those are all lies. That's just a lie. What is the truth? The truth is I've scaled 2 businesses before. I know how to deal with product. I know QuickBooks. I can navigate Shopify. I've been in the home and gift industry for 20 years. I know the things to do if I just continue with the discipline. So we really want to make sure, like, who are you speaking to? And when I really say who are you speaking to, I'm really like, who are you speaking to in yourself, right? Like, because we all have these layers of us. We all have these like warrior, we may be confident in one area and we may be scared in another. So we really, in our meditation this morning, we really want to look at, like, who are you speaking to? Like who is the person that you're calling yourself to be in this moment? And how are you speaking to yourself? And are you speaking to yourself at times with a gentleness that's needed, because no one can nurture your soft, hurting places, your scary places like you can, like you know yourself. And definitely we want to create a community, and that's what we're doing here at Mela Lifestyle, right? We definitely want to create a community and allies and support and confidence and mentors. We definitely want to do all that, but the thoughts that we have, like, that can take us out sometimes. So definitely thinking about who are you speaking to, learning how to really parent yourself. And like, I know you're like, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown man. I'm not a little boy. But there probably are some parts of you that do feel scared, like, even in these times, right? And so it's okay to parent yourself or to speak to yourself in that gentle way. That's what I do at times, and it really works. And then there are times when I speak to myself, I'm a bit more authoritative. Like, I have a Peloton bike, and I kind of gear to the instructors that are a bit more intense, that are that are a bit more assertive. Like, I like that. And so there are times when I know when I need to be gentle with myself, and I know when I need to, like, nurture that little girl and just be like, everything's going to be okay. This is what we're going to do. And then I know there's times where I need to be like, girl, get up. Like, let's go. Like, I know there's times when I definitely need to push myself, and I'm very much aware of the voice that I'm using to speak to myself in those moments. So I really want you to think about, is this week of finishing strong in this year, ask yourself, who are you speaking to? And really it looks more like, how are you speaking to yourself, right? And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was, so first meditation, who are you speaking to? How are you speaking to yourself? And the next, I was thinking about this when I was walking. Every morning I drop off orders and Mela Lifestyle orders, and I was thinking about catching your breath. I don't know, this, like, it really came to me. And the whole idea of, there are moments where we need, how like you'll hear someone say, oh, they took my breath away, or, like the breath of life. And I want to encourage you that it's okay to take a moment and catch your breath at the end of this year, right? Like, it's okay to have those moments where, like, you really think about, that breath that are you taking time to pause? Are you taking time? A lot of times when I get anxious, I take one hand and I put it on my chest, and I put one hand on my tummy, and I'm like breathing in. Or I have a lot of friends in the wellness community that do a lot of breath work, and you think like, oh, we breathe all the time, but there's something really powerful in pausing. And it's okay to catch your breath in this season, and it's okay to just take a pause and really think about, like, what are you breathing in right now, like, right? And like, what is the breath over you? And I am confident, when I think about, like, my anxiety, or when I think about being nervous about Mela Lifestyle and if it's going to grow and how it's going to look, and can I, like, all these things, I have to always come back to, this is what I know and this is what I believe. And I believe that the breath of motivation, like the breath of inspiration, like, there is a powerful moment, like, even though that we are not one-on-one touching, like you can see the whites of my eyes, and you can know that as I inspire and as I continue to breathe life and inspiration and community and really speak to those things that are sometimes hidden and unspoken, that we will create a mighty roar as a community of Mela Lifestyle, right? That we can breathe, like there can be a breath and there can be breath work, and we can breathe into those areas of our life that still need tender moments, right? We can breathe into those areas of our life that still need healing, right? And that we can, I mean, if you think about it with CPR, right? Like if someone's hurting or someone's down, you learn it and you breathe into that person, and I believe that can happen. Like we can breathe into those areas of your life that you just felt like were dead, or those areas of your life that you just felt like there's no life in that anymore. I have to move on. Those areas of your life where you were very passionate about, that you just kind of felt like, I'm in the house now, I can't pursue that. Like I would encourage you today that we can still breathe into those dead spots of our lives. Like we can still breathe into like those dull moments, those areas that still need new life, right? Because when we think about going into the new year, I believe that we can breathe into the breath of like what 2021 will be. And even in the midst of the unknown, like we can speak to ourselves and we can speak life to ourselves, and we can work on breath work, and we can do wellness work, and we can show up for ourselves. And that is the discipline, right? So we talked about earlier that discipline will carry you when motivation won't. And that is the discipline, like the daily breath work, the daily talk, the daily exercise, like all the daily feeding into and speaking into what is true, right? Separating the truth from the lie. Like that's how we persevere, right? And that's how we move into 2021 like with like almost like a crown of victory, right? Like we don't think like, oh, I'll get the crown when all these things happen. We think like, no, I can get that victory now because I'm taking the necessary steps. And so those are our two meditations for this morning. The first is, who are you speaking to? Meaning like, how are you speaking to yourself? What words are you saying to yourself? What are those silent thoughts, and are you separating the truth from the lie? The facts. Like what are the facts in this moment, and what are just my feelings? Because those are two different things. And it's okay to parent yourself. It's okay to speak to the little boy or the little girl inside of you if you feel scared. And it's okay at times to say, I'm gonna allow myself to have these feelings, but I'm gonna like I tell them, get up, girl. Like I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna go at it again. Like that moment where you're like, let's go. Because I want to share with you like one thing like anxiety and fear likes to do. You have to think of anxiety and fear like a bully, right? And so like, what do bullies hate? Bullies hate confidence, right? Bullies hate weakness. And like, as soon as like a bully finds that part of you, that's when they go in on it. And so even though fear and anxiety isn't a person like sitting in your living room, or isn't a person like sitting on the edge of your nightstand, it's still there. And so like, you have to know when to really show up for yourself, honor yourself, parent yourself, like be that big brother or big sister to yourself, be that partner to yourself, and just be like, no, not today. This is not, it's not gonna happen that way today. And if you feel like your thoughts are getting ahead of that, then you reach out and you call someone, right? That's what we talked about, like humility, like finding someone who's had the victory in another area and like taking that on. Because I tell my kids, some things are taught and some things are caught. And what do I mean by that? I mean like some things are, I can tell you, I can teach you, but if I'm in the room with you, if you're watching my movement, if you're watching my discipline, like that's gonna have a bigger impact on you than just me talking. And that's why it's so important when I start every meditation that I really share with you guys, like I'm on one a day or I'm not clear, but I really share with you, like these are the unknown, the uncomfortable things that every entrepreneur, every self-starter, every visionary, if you're going down uncharted territory, these are things that are gonna come up. But the difference between the person that thrives in that and the person that sits in defeat is how they talk to themselves and if they keep going, right? Like if they have that endurance, that grit to keep going, that knowing that something better is ahead of them. So thank you for joining me this morning on the Journey to Mela Lifestyle. And remember, our two meditations for today are, who are you speaking to? Really, it's about how are you speaking to yourself? Like, who are you talking to? Like you could be like if you have a moment and then you realize like you're being negative, you could be like, who are you talking to? Like to yourself, right? And the second is like catch your breath, like really realizing that there is, there is a breath that is being spoken over you, that breath of new life is being spoken to those dead areas of your life, those areas that need to be revived, those areas that need like passion. And just know that that's what we're doing as a movement, and that's what we're doing as a community. The fact that we come together every morning and we just have two things that we're just going to meditate on throughout the day, and that some things can be taught and some things can be caught. And I just encourage you that you would catch the inspiration that I get from you every morning, that you will catch that as well and run your race to the best of your abilities. So ciao for now, and thanks for joining me on the Journey of Mela Lifestyle. Bye guys.